meeting is being recorded.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Workforce Wednesday. My name is Emily Petnato. I'm the Workforce Development Specialist at the Chamber. Today's Workforce Wednesday session, I have Melinda Arcuri on, and she is going to talk about Marywood University's Adult Literacy Program. Thank you for joining me today. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Emily? Thank you for having me.
Of course.
All right, so I am the project director here for Marywood's Adult Literacy Program, and we receive funding. It's Title II funding within the workforce development system. And what we do with that funding is we offer instruction to individuals who have a workforce goal, but in addition to having a workforce goal, also have a need of skill development. So they have a skill area that they want to improve upon in order to move forward with their workforce goal. So for some of those individuals, that might be a reading skill, a writing skill, a math skill. It can also be English language skill. And what we do is we offer the instruction here at Marywood. We have classrooms where we're housed by the university, and students come to our classes to work on improving that skill in order to move forward with that workforce goal. And so that's one aspect of our program. And then the funding also allows us to do some other things. And an important thing that we do is we collaborate with workforce partners. So that's your career link, human service agencies. It's also employers at times. And that system is really meant and designed to help people get into family sustaining employment. So if they're in a job, they can move forward to get a better job. If they want to go to post-secondary education or training, they can, that can be their goal. It also might be something as simple as just becoming more efficient in the job that they're working in so they can be successful in that position. And then lastly, it may be a promotion. They might want to move forward with their skills so that they have the chance of being promoted. And so that looks different for each student, but also there's some general commonalities between the students we see. So in this area, we do see a lot of students that need to address that high school equivalency attainment for moving forward with their workforce goal. English language learners is a big one, and it's increasing around here. So that's another one. And then you may have someone here or there that has a specific skill that they know they're going to need to be successful. So maybe they have their high school equivalency, but they really want to work on their writing and language arts so that they can pass a specific test they have to for a training program. And so it kind of looks different. And so we do work with our students to figure out what those goals are, and then also how we can help them along the way. And so the other piece to our program is we do provide case management through a position on my staff where our case manager will help a student work on barriers and also any transition needs they have. And this looks similar to what a guidance counselor would do in a high school setting. Meet with them, kind of figure out what their challenges are and what partners we can access and refer them to in order to address those so that they can be more successful. So it's a very unique program. And it's a really great thing to be a part of too. So there's the instruction and then the case management for those individuals.
So how would someone apply for the program, and what are the requirements to be?
Okay. So because it's grant funded, there is quite a bit of an intake process for students, but it does start with a phone call. We also have a website where they can submit a form if they don't want to do the phone call.
Mm-hmm.
And once they do that, they're directed to one of my staff members, depending on if they're ESL or if they want high school equivalency or like the language arts math instruction. And then once they do that and they want to, and they're interested in the program, they are placed on a wait list, and then they are sent an interest form. And that's where we gather more information about some of those goals that they have, what their schedule's like, background, whether they took any of the GED, because sometimes they may have taken a few of the tests. So it just kind of gathers some information about them. And Then there's a few other steps they have to go through. It'll include an informational session, filling out an application, and then lastly, they are tested when they come in. And so we do a test with them to get a level. It's not a pass fail. Students come to us, and that allows us to put them in the correct level for their need. And so they do that. Once all that's complete, they're placed in a class. So these are just some of the requirements we have because it is a grant funded program, because our money is coming from federal and state. They have their requirements, and so we follow those. Those students will be tested when they come in on this adult literacy test. Usually it's a reading test. Sometimes it's a math if they need that. And then after 40 hours of instruction, they'll be post-tested. And the goal for our program and also for our students is within that time, they would go up a level. And so, of course, our goal is to get them to their, workforce goal and passing the GED and, improving their English language. But we also, as a program, are looked at according to those gains that they get when they come in. So that's an important piece for us, and something that, we talk about as soon as they come in, and then when they're with us. Like I said, it's not a pass fail. It's kind of like, this is where you're at. You're an adult learner, so you could really run the gamut of your level. Our classes run the gamut of levels, so no one needs to be nervous about being too low, because we have such a mix of adult learners. But that direct goal is that they're coming in and they're improving, and that's shown on that test.
How many are enrolled at a time?
So we will do 2 big fills a year typically, and if we have more space available between those 2 times, we will fill it. So right now we're coming up on a big fill that will happen around the time children start school, an academic year, and I would say we're probably going to bring in half our numbers at that time. So we are contracted to enroll 222 students. So ideally, we'll get to 50% between now and December.
Is that 222 in a whole calendar year?
In a whole year. So our program year will run from July 1st until June 30th of next year. And so 222 for the year. We shoot to be around 50 to 60% by December. So that's kind of our goal. So a big group will come in August. If any of those students don't hold the seats, we will fill. So we tell people to just call us, even whatever time of the year it is, and we'll kind of explain that to them and where we're at. But ideally people are coming in now and staying with us for the year, so, but we will fill throughout the year, because we do, they're adults, things come up. And so there are times when seats will open up. And it's also important for me to mention that we do have an attendance policy. The instruction is free to students. So when they come here, they get a teacher, the books are in the classrooms that they can use. There's other resources, but the program is not free in the sense that we pay to, run it. And so we can't, allow a seat to remain open with nobody filling it. So we do have attendance policies, and all of that is explained before they come in and make a commitment to the program.
Can they be in the program for multiple years to learn all different types of skills? And is it semester based? Is it just?
Yeah, so they stay as long as they need to. And for some students, they may come in and be out within a half year. And other students may be with us for a few years. And that's really rewarding, because we get to really know those students, and they'll come back and they share their stories with our students. So that's really great. But often I would say we're seeing students at least stay for about 2 years. And for, like I said, for high school equivalency, it's a little different, because sometimes students may come in and have 2 tests already taken and just have to kind of work on the next 2. But we're here, and our grant runs on a cycle. And so we just received the new cycle for this grant. We apply every 4 or 5 years. So this program is on the grant cycle to be ended in 2027, and then we would reapply at that time. So they can enter, they can call us any time of year, and they can stay as long as needed, as long as they're attending the program.
Now, will businesses be you're looking to get a better skill here, Marywood has this program available. Why don't you check it out?
Yeah, that would be wonderful. That's I think it's important for like me to be on here just to let people know that we're here because we are the only Title II program in Lackawanna County, and these programs exist throughout the state for
Mhm.
this need. And so it's a great way for people to learn about how to access us, or if you have employees that you know would benefit from it, to share that information with them and how to reach out to us. Occasionally, we actually do work hand in hand with employers. We have a few classes now where they have a sizable amount of students that need to work on a skill to be successful at their company. And so we will meet with them to kind of figure out what those needs are and design instruction around that. Those programs are a little more nuanced and unique and kind of tailored to what is needed, but we are currently doing some of those as well. And that's another aspect of the program that I hadn't mentioned, but those are great because those students are already employed, and the employers have those skill sets that they want us to work on with them. So yeah.
As our workforce is becoming larger and more diverse, especially in Lackawanna County, what is something an employer would want to know that you teach in your ESL classes?
I would say that many of our ESL students come to us with the need to practice conversation. And our program, it gets a little complicated in our program. We do conversation with them, but we also have to work on some reading skills with them as well. And so that need, from my perspective as the program director who's been here for a number of years, is ever increasing for that population. They are also a population that is very committed. They attend very well, but they love to do conversation practice. And I think mostly that is, of course, to interact, just every day with people and doctor's appointments and things like that, but also like in their jobs to be successful and be able to work on that important work skill of communication. And so I would say that's probably a really big need is conversational practice, and also like understanding that they are, when we are ESL students here are just very good attenders. And that's why sometimes you might find when you call us a little bit of a wait because we do have such a big population in need. And there's even more of a need outside of us to address that population, especially with conversation practice.
Is there anything else you want to add before we wrap up about the program and what you would want people to know when they're watching?
Just reach out to us. I have a wonderful staff that loves to share information. And so we do that, like I said, through the online form. I don't know, Emily, if we can kind of put that anywhere where they can access it. I have a phone number that you can reach out to. And then also we do texts, emails, calls. So whatever is most convenient for us to kind of communicate and connect that first time. And then we're also here to answer any questions. So sometimes members of the community might be interested in looking into high school equivalency, but not want to do the instruction in our program. We are still a good place to reach out to because there is a process involved with taking the GED and the high set.
Mhm.
And so even with questions, you can reach out. That's what we're here for. We're kind of the experts in the adult education world. And so if you have questions about how to sign up for the GED and how to create an account, please also reach out to us and we can do our best to help you through that process, even if you just want to go take it on your own.
Awesome. Thank you for coming on today and sharing more information about this program. I hope our viewers are finding it useful and are sharing the information as well. This session is recorded and available to rewatch on the Scranton Chamber YouTube channel as well, and along with our Facebook. So yeah, thank you for joining us again today and
Thank
have a
you.
great rest of your week.
You too.